Welcome to Matriarch Monday on the Orisha Stone channel. Today we delve into the sacred journey of womb evolution. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this transmission.
We are the womb, connected as one.
Take out the sound fading, but here we break it down. Echoes at the past, it's a wisdom that they drown. They able let the shadows overshine through the dark. Voices of the council, let it give you like a spark. Ooh, the trip too loud, they tryna turn it down. Step into the light, watch the history rebound. They do feel fall, at least they wrote. With 4 miles of my life to get them that screw.
From the first spark, I be up before time. Everybody's like hell, rearrange their mind. Every line that spit, rewrite they design. Every truth that drop, make a hit and rewind. They moving silent, but I see through the veil. Change one name, but it's really itself. Final stream that they came, while they print up the bell. Like I'm lost in the maze, just a prophet to tell. It's a cycle, blood turning gears in the system. Before the disease and they still need a fix. I've been watching, third eye stay in position. Ancestors whisper got gold in my vision. If once you sleep, so the dream feel real. Set that hope in the box with a sign of feel. But the land ain't theirs and the gold ain't real. The throne of the queen gotta take on place still. Ooh, they true too loud, they tryna turn us down. Moving the light, but we came from underground. They're scared of the past, cause the future profound. What's lost been found, now the council's all around. When the council speak, listen when the echoes meet. Every verse, every beat, it's a key, it's to see. What's found, get free, what's blind, don't see. What's hushed, don't scream, what's locked, got the key. They build pyramids, it's a copy of God. Till the blueprint that he had to report. Target ain't eye, but the sword's been sworn. Ain't no tag, take the touch, that's the matter we are. And we know I don't rap, I just stand on the weeds. Have my own yo. Turn vibrations to waves that be shifted degrees. So go, yo, yeah. And when you walk from, I'm in your whip. And when you walk from, I'm in your turn it down, moving the light, so we came from underground. They're scared of the past, but the future first found. What's lost been found, now the council's around. Who the council speak, this is what they tell me. Every verse, every beat, is a key, it's to see. What's found, get free, what's blind, gon' see. What's hushed, gon' scream, what's locked, got the key.
Alafia from 113 of Orisha Stone. Welcome back to Matriarch Monday with our beautiful host, High Priestess and OJ Yemi.
Hey.
How y'all doing? How your beautiful goddess doing tonight?
All right. Hotel God, I'm doing well. Excited to be here. Seems like I just saw you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You couldn't miss a Matriarch Monday. So tonight I wanted to continue. Tonight we Matriarch Magnetism, and I wanted to continue because you had a very powerful message last time you were on, and I knew we weren't going to be able to get it all in one session. So with no further ado, I wanted you to go ahead and tap back into that because like correcting and re-evolving the divine feminine is a major thing in life right now. So with no further ado, the floor is yours, goddess.
All right. So Ashe and Hotep, welcome everyone again. Oh, wait a minute, I got a little feedback. Let me see. Turn my mic down. Is that better? Okay. So excited to be here and very honored to be here with Orisha Stone and Mama OJ Yemi. And we were talking about the divine feminine. And part of that discussion was talking about the attributes of the divine feminine, right? So, there has been a mission, there is this, what we know is the matriarch is rising, femininity is rising. We are learning more and more about ourselves and our function and our roles. And so one of the things, one of the mission that we have is to shift the consciousness, right? And one of the ways to shift the consciousness is to do away with the combat, the conflict, deficit, all of that, those levels of thinking. And so as we start rising in our divine femininity and things like that, one of the things I wanted to address was, if you look at some of these the shows and stuff like that, right? The male and the female are fighting, right? They're fighting for a position, they're fighting for power, for authority, for who's right, who's wrong. And I don't think we have to make those decisions. We don't have to make those choices, right? And so one of the things I wanted to introduce was the divine feminine. And these are just perspectives of the roles that we have as a female, as the divine feminine. And so we started off with magnetism, and that's what we were talking about on the last session. We were talking about the natural magnetism of the female, right? So one of the things we hear all the time is being electromagnetic. We're told that the body is electromagnetic. Everything is electromagnetic. Now, it's just a perspective, but I think that perspective comes from the mind being programmed to think of electricity first, things that are moving first, which is a male concept, right? Why do I say that? Right. And again, all of these things are just perspectives, right? These are perspectives of, so we have facts, right? I always like to say this, right? So we have these facts, right? We have different things that we know are facts, right? We know that the sperm hits the egg. But then what happens is we explain our perspective is what that means. So I always like to address it in that fact, in that way. If it resonates with you, then it resonates with you, right? But it is a perspective. So when we're talking about these roles, if you look in the female body, right, the way our body just naturally operates, right? If we take our menstrual cycle, right, the egg matures, right? Once the egg matures, it comes through the fallopian tubes, and then if it's fertilized, right, then we're going to birth a baby. But if it's not, it's going to come and it's going to go through a process. That egg, it takes 13 days for that egg to move, right? So it's not always moving, but it is pulsing. It's not dead. The eggs that we have that are not fertilized yet or not mature yet, they all have a pulse, right? See, people don't talk about this. We always talk about the sperm, right? Why? Because the sperm is electricity. It's moving. It's always doing something. And so this whole culture has been based on that male energy of moving. And so in shifting the consciousness, and really for us to take the role as the divine feminine, but not in a way where we have to be in combat. It's a different role. It's a different responsibility, right? AKA, men do not carry babies. Now, they might be trying to do that artificially, right? But the way the body is naturally set up, that is not a role and a function for a male. right? And now, do we have to put a judgment on that? Does that mean that is better, is worse, is in between? All of that is, that's up to you, right? So,
That ain't
all
nothing.
right.
No, that ain't us doing that, guys. That's a total different monster in the lab trying to create some stuff. You ain't seeing no melanated people in them labs trying to create no men having babies. And no, we for nature. So go ahead, guys.
Okay. So now, we introduced the divine feminine, right? The 9 attributes. Here are 9 other things that we can focus on besides being in combat, in deficit, in conflict, right? There are other things, there are other roles, there are other functions that are not associated with being, the male, the natural way that a male operates. And here's what I mean. A lot of people may not know, right? That 9 to 5 schedule, right? Guess whose hormones is based off of? Men. They've done studies, and they, of course, on white men, right? They've studied, and they said that the 9 to 5 schedule is based on the male's hormones, when his hormones are at the height, between 9 to 5, right? Ours don't do that. They fluctuate. They go, and part of the height of our hormones may be in the evening, right? In them hours that, we, those early morning hours, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Notice that when you are nursing a baby, when you have a new baby, isn't that around the time they wake up a lot?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just saying.
That's the time I wake up every day around 3, 4 o'clock.
I say. So yes, so this is these are some of the things. So we really want to get this information out so that as we are bringing in this energy of the divine feminine, that it's not coming in to be in conflict, to fight, to be this, because I think then this is my perspective, that we're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. Right? Let's evolve. Let's shut that down for good. And let's create a legacy that never creates it again. Right? We don't have to keep going around in a circle. We don't have to go in cycles. We don't have to revolve, as in having a revolution. We can have an evolution.
I shall say, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
How you feeling, OJ Yemi?
Thankful and grateful. Thankful and grateful.
Yes, ma'am. What you got on that?
Well, for me, until we know who we are, we won't know where we're going. We as sisters talk about the divine feminine, but how many of us, as you say, when it's time to do OMAC stuff, how many of us are really doing OMAC stuff?
Yes, ma'am.
When we talk about the divine feminine, how many of us are truly living from the divine feminine? Unapologetic. And the only way we can do that is accept the fact that who we are in that role as being the mothers, being first, that we birthed. We carry light. We carry the power to heal, destroy, lift up, raise up. That's how powerful we are in our womb. But the power lies in our womb. So until we as sisters truly understand what it means to be a divine feminine, we're not going to go anywhere. I see so many sisters, and if they talk about the divine feminine, then they have to bring forth that patriarch energy. But the patriarch can talk about them and don't have to bring the divine feminine energy. I just think that we have to come to a point where we can speak our truth. No malice, no anger, but we have to speak our truth. And the truth is we came first. We birth. We are birthless. The wisdom and the knowledge is in our womb. The wisdom and your knowledge is in your prostate. But if we live from our womb, in my practice, the first thing I ask a sister is, what's your relationship with your mother? What's your relationship with your father? And when you word sound, where do you word sound from? If she doesn't tell me her womb, okay.
Mm. Mm.
Yes, ma'am. I love how you said that, goddess. They say your volume's a little bit low, OJ Yemi, but I can hear you fine. You can hear fine, High Priestess?
I do. I hear.
Yes, ma'am. Maybe your volume is low, 3016. But yes, ma'am, and I'm just holding space for y'all tonight. It's Matriarch Monday. So do you have something else, goddess?
Oh, okay. So I wanted to say something about what Mama OJ Yemi was saying. And so that's one of the reasons why we're doing this, because we, even though this matriarchal energy, this divine feminine energy is coming back in and we're all feeling it. We are all it's like it's on us. There's no way to get around it. That program, let's not sleep on the program that and I always say this, we all been compromised, right? But that's not a something to that's not a deficit, or that's not something to think about and be like, oh my God, we all, we're doomed. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that so that it has no chance of continuing to operate within us in the same way. Right? So now, once we realize that that's what it is, let's go into this divine femininity. Let's go to neutral point. Let's forget everything that we think we know about being a female and what it means and what it doesn't mean, right? The trauma, right? Many of us have had lots and lots of trauma from being in relationships. I think I mentioned this on the last show, right? That every day over 150 women are killed per day by men. Okay, so there's a lot of women out there that have fear men, right? Or hate them, or just have whatever a traumatic experience. Now, again, I'm not blaming everything on the men. I'm not saying men, and fingers pointing at the men. I'm just saying that's the world in which we are existing in. And so a lot of times when this feminine energy, when we talk about the matriarch, when we're talking about this divine femininity, it switches to, well, let's get them before they get us. Right? I'm saying, wait a minute. What if we just all get to neutral? Right? And realize that the program is the one that is causing these disruptions, that is causing the male and female traumas. Either we're putting it upon each other, right? We're putting it on ourselves, and then we just keep building on it. Let's not build this matriarch from this whole mound of trauma. Let's build it from source. Let's build it from its origin. Let's build it from where its starting point, right? And then we can deal with what happened, but don't build it up and say, hey, well, the women's supposed to be in charge. And so, and then we don't, and then we go into it with an attitude of, we have to now, um, do something. We have to. We're not. I think. Let me say, I got a whole bunch of thoughts in my head at the same
So
time. Let's slow down, Bob.
uh,
If we build it from that trauma, then that's a limitation. We're limiting ourselves to just what the experiences have been, not what they can be. And we have a lot more access when we can just be at source, and then determine what divine femininity is, what the matriarch is, what the divine masculine is, and then how we interact. But nature has a lot of these clues, things that happen naturally in the body. The body is encoded with the source, all of us. Like Mama OJ Yemi was saying, and it's interesting, before we, in this session, I want to take people through kind of I would say it's a guided meditation, but something for us to get to that source point. And it's for the male and the female. And like she said, that truth is in the womb and it's in the prostate. Who we really are, that's where it is. It's right there. It's encoded. There's certain things that can't be, they might put dampeners on them, but there's certain things that cannot be programmed, right? They cannot take away the code that's naturally in the body. It may be dampened, right? But that code is still there. We came here with everything that we need. We came here knowing who we are in our existence. That's why so many of us are waking up now, or we've already awakened, but now we kind of feeling ourselves now, right? We made it awaken 20 years ago, but we kind of feeling it now. You know what I'm saying? We can implement it.
yes, ma'am.
So,
I'm glad you said that, because I'm not to cut your wisdom. I'm glad you said that, because you said 20 years ago, and I remember a lot of black men coming into consciousness or coming into some kind of awakening 20, 30 years ago.
yep.
And in that point in time, we've always been pushing for the matriarch. When you hear Bobby Hemmett, he's always pushing it. When you hear Dr. Deborah Blair, he's always pushing it. You hear a lot of these master teachers, it was always the men pushing it. I'm not too familiar with, that's why I started doing Matriarch Monday, because I wasn't too familiar with a lot of the master teacher women. But I know when we were talking about the black woman is God, that was all black men. So when we say men are killing our women at a high rate, it's kind of strange, because the ones that we're doing all the killing, the white man in general, our women, from the masculine perspective, from the black man's perspective, right? Y'all have no problem with him. He's notorious. He is historically raped, pillaged,
he's one of the men.
Done it all. And you forget
he's
that.
included in that number of men that are killing women. It's not black. I didn't say black men, all men.
No, you didn't. You didn't at all. No, ma'am. I said it because I wanted to throw that out there, because it's always been a lot of men trying to push up the matriarch, trying to wake up the matriarch. You know what I'm saying? And we're in the world that we live, all the power, all the womb power that these women have, they don't know what to do with it. Or when they do figure it out, like you said, they start feeling themselves. We were like, yo, the black woman is God. Say less, the black woman is God. And she said, I'm God. We don't need you no more. We are the matriarch. And I've heard it all. I've been in groups where they were like, well, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead, guys.
Let me say something about that. So yes, you hear me talk about the hollow womb receiver, right? And the hollow womb receiver, and using the cosmology that we study, the OMAD cosmology, the area where the male's energy is in waking consciousness and in the subconscious. And so if you think about what the role that the sperm has to the egg, it is literally to awaken it, right? it awakens. So when the sperm hits the egg, it awakens the egg, or when they come together, it awakens up, it wakes up that energy. And then of course, then we start, the cells start duplicating and duplicating and duplicating, right? So, and then until one of us comes out, right? So that waking energy, I thought about that before, about why there were so many males that came before us. The Bobby Hemmett's, the Dr. Blair's. Now there were females, like in her time, Dr. Jewel Pookrum, who is an OBGYN, right? She was right up there with them, right? But these males, they started literally waking up the consciousness. Now, here's the thing though, that happens, that I've seen happen sometimes, again, because we're talking about operating from the trauma. So the even though the men they started waking up the consciousness, sometimes you have the males that want to determine, they start to tell us what actually happens inside of our body and how it feels. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, you take it a little bit too far. I remember, and so then we get into these debates. All right. So yes, those males were there first, starting to tell us. But at that time, the only one, okay, because of the world in which we live in, like if you've ever, talked to a Dr. Jewel or Francis Cress Welsing and all of those things, it was difficult for them. Right? Look at you.
I got them on here. I was bringing a point, but I got them on here. I don't know all their names, but we got them.
Look at you. Yeah, it was difficult for them. Right? Because, come on. Yep, there you go. See, and I haven't heard of Dr. Mona Harrison, right? Then we have a Mother Tynetta, right? There were a lot of them. Known enough, my godmother, right? Moot Anuket. A lot of people have not heard of her, right? They were there. There was, as a matter of fact, she's the first one who taught me about divine femininity, right? And and they all know each other and things like that. But it was very difficult at that time for them to come and speak like I'm speaking right now, yes, right? Ma'am. Because the men weren't listening to them or allowing them to speak. It's very easy for a male. You get on a panel like this, you know what I'm saying? And it's easier for a male to overspeak a female, right? All you gotta do is put some bass in your voice, right? And we sound like, you know what I'm saying? So in their day, they literally, they were the trailblazers. They made it possible for me to be sitting here speaking like now, and people are listening to what I have to say. But at that time, they're there and they're talking about what actually happens in the female body because they got one. And you had men debating them, right? One of the things that I don't know if she's the originator of it, Dr. Jewel Pookrum was, if I have it right, one of the first to talk about how the woman is not just associated with the moon. Her eggs look like suns, and they are little black balls with and they're yellow around them, just like if you look at the sun in a telescope and the ovum in a microscope. And the men didn't want to hear that. Why? Because the woman is associated with the moon and the man is supposed to be the sun. And so she's saying something different. She's saying, you women, ladies, you have suns in your body. Your body operates like the sun as well as the moon, right? And the earth, right? And so she was the first one that I know of that mapped those types of things, right? And so, in that time, her voice was quieted because nobody was. I don't know many men that talked about that. Maybe Dr. Blair and I know Baba Waneek. They talked about a time where they went on this big cruise with all of them, and I think it was Baba Waneek, Kimi Tahuti Shabazz. He said he got on a one of those cruises and he started talking about that, and they wanted to boo him off the stage for saying it, but you can prove it scientifically. And then, so when they taught me, I went a little bit further with it. And I said, well, let me see. If there's a sun in there and a moon, then there's an earth, and then there's some stars, and then there's a whole universe. And then and that's when we came up with the universal uterus, right? But what's the difference is it's now acceptable. Those things, now we can accept those things and then want to move forward, because as we say, it's not a fight, it's a frequency. So as a divine feminine, we don't need to fight about these things. We don't need to prove or disprove anything. Let's just be it. As they say, we show you better than we can tell you. That we're walking around with the universe. We're walking around with suns, the moons. Like when I was talking about the hormones, right? You know how they got us all associated with the moon, and is this moon and that moon. Well, we have the moon phases in our bodies every single day. Every day. We go through the whole moon cycle, moon phases. Our hormones line up just like that. So the question I always have, are we on the moon? Is the moon on our cycle, or are we on the moon cycle? Right? Seems like it might be on our cycle. But that's a whole other story. So I wanted to bring those things up so that we understand that there's a whole other world for us to explore as the divine feminine than what is right. This fight about power, right? Because when we think of power, we think of somebody controlling somebody else and a hierarchy, right? Well, what if there's no hierarchy, or at least not in that sense? What if there's something else? I remember now, it was a brother who told me this. He said, sometimes the women are so busy fighting the men, and the men so busy fighting the women, right? That we're leaving, especially the women, when we move from our square and we go fight the men, we're leaving a whole area untouched, right? And that is that world of creating from the triple black darkness, from the dark matters, from the universe, right? Part of why I think this is a perspective, it's just a perspective. I don't know it to be true. It's just, something that, an insight. I think part of why we don't know what the water does is because the women have been dampened. The planet is 70% water, and everybody knows these statistics, right? Only 5% of the ocean has been explored, right? So who gonna explore them waters? They can't put no machines down there. It ain't no drones. It's nothing, because the pressure is too much. But we walking around. That happens every time somebody gives birth, or every time we're in a womb. When we came into the womb, we were in those waters, right? So there's something to that. We are encoded with this knowledge and this information, and perhaps if we go into that neutral space and we tap into our wombs, like Mama Ojayemi said, that code that tells us what's in that water and how to explore those waters will be known. I say this all the time, like people are always, downgrading the planet. They say, the earth is this third dimension. I say, we don't even know what this dimension is. I think we've only explored 2 dimensions. Up, down, yes, no, back and forth, side to
And
side. Just two, not three. And I think that there is so much more in this dimension that we don't know of because we have been dampened. Some of our sensibilities have been dampened. And then as a divine feminine, that's where we naturally would flow, right? If we could remove ourselves from the world, the trauma, drama, karma, the situation, circumstances, and the problems. Like let's put a comma in it, or for right now, and then let's go over here and explore what else is there that we can do that can help this world become something that we would love. I remember for the longest time I was saying, I'm not coming back. I'm like, I am not doing this again. I'm gonna get it right this time. I'm not coming back. Well, what if we made this world something that again, right? As they say, make America great again, make the planet great again. Make it something that, spirits do want to come and return to, because we want to come here and feel joy and feel love and feel consciousness. What if we were able to do that? And I think that the women, I think that's something we can explore.
yes, ma'am. I think everybody, like I said, I was bringing up some names, but we forget about the Sada Shakurs, the Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells, she was amazing. She always spoke about this kind of information. And like you said, some people didn't listen. But again, I say, when you look around the world, it's not a man versus woman thing. It's a black man versus black woman thing. The Asian woman don't got no problem with the Asian man. She might, but she gonna be quiet about it. The Arab woman ain't got no problem with the Arab man. She might, but if she say something, she might get stoned.
Yeah, that's true. I'm about to say, I think you do got a problem.
When you look at all these different races of men, we gotta start paying attention. When we say matriarch, we're saying our black women. We ain't say our women. We say the melanated women. We're trying to big you up. We're trying to do all these different things. And like I said, our women are the only women that publicly. And I'm not saying the women. We got a lot of bots out here with weave on. We got a lot of different things out here that look like us, but they ain't us. But when it comes to our people, we proud to say, a lot of women are proud to say they don't need men. They don't care about men. They hate men. They want a bear. And it's like, how long y'all gonna let these white folks trick y'all out y'all spot? The white women started the feminism part thing to trick you because she knew when we were unified, they couldn't stop us. Are we that slow? Are we that dumb? Why is it the same women that say, oh, but the black man is broke. We need more money from y'all. We need more this. But then when we give it to y'all, the first thing you do is buy a purse. You didn't want to invest in the land. You didn't want to. So it's a lot of these things, different things that we're looking at and looking at it sideways now. Like, damn, what are we doing it for? What are we fighting for when the one that we love don't love us back? The ones we do for don't do for us back. But go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to say. Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
You saying something, Mama? OJ, hear me? Go ahead.
Let's go back to being in the womb. Whatever our mother and her mother and her mother and her mother and her mother experienced, that's what we're going to experience. When we come to the point of realizing who we are, remembering who we are, it comes with, it's a practice. So all sistering, and I'm not saying all sistering are fighting brothers. I'm not saying it, but what I am saying is no brother can tell a sister who she is. No sister can tell a brother who he is.
I say.
We came here androgynous. We came here with everything we need. That means that there's divine feminine energy in each and masculine energy in each one of us. Why don't we tap into that energy? So when a sister says she don't, men have a need, sisters have a want. So just because a sister says she doesn't need a man, she don't. That's outside of herself. The man is an extension of who she is. So sometimes I think we need to pay attention to the words that we use. If I'm talking from personal experience. I didn't love being a woman. So I didn't birth daughters. I birthed sons because I was not in love or in tune enough with myself because of my trauma and my drama.
Mm,
So therefore I
mm.
birthed sons. I didn't birth daughters. So when a sister is truly not in love with herself, she births sons. She doesn't birth daughters. So that comes with healing. That comes with actually going in and looking at that trauma and looking at that drama and say, I'm going to use the word Fannie Lou Hamer said, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you decide to make a shift and you decide to make a change. Do all sistering come to be the divine feminine? No. But to the ones that do, I'm not here to judge a sister. I'm not here to put another sister down. This is how I see it to be. As a brother, and you, when you meet that sister, as a sister, when you meet that brother, if you don't feel, if your womb and your prostrate tell you who that is that stands before you. Now, if you go ahead and date that brother and you go ahead and date that sister, don't be mad at them. Be mad at yourself because you chose them for whatever reason. So it's up to us to make the shift as sistering. All
I
sistering ain't
say,
trying to conquer no brother. I'm not going to put all the people in the bag like that because that's
I
not
say,
true. But when a sister truly learns who she is, that means going back to our story. How many of us truly know our stories?
come on.
A lot of us don't even know our bloodlines.
Mm,
So this is a lot of, there's a whole lot of cycles and
mhm.
layers to this. And it starts with being in our mother's womb. It starts with how were you raised in the room? We talk about the deep, dark primordial waters. Well, how many of us actually understand what those deep, dark primordial waters mean? The triple darkness. We so busy saying that we the light that when somebody starts talking about the darkness, we lose our mind.
Come on. Come
We so
on.
si- we so strongly to be outside of ourselves that we don't even go inward.
I say,
Every
I
sister,
say,
I do one work daily.
I
On your
say.
mother's sacred ancestral palace. Every sister that I've ever, just about, I've built her up. I've helped her. You come and I've build you up. But you know what they say at the end? When am I going to find somebody?
Ah,
Find yourself. Have you found yourself?
find
Or he
yourself.
did this to me. No, he didn't do anything to you. You gave him permission to do that to you.
Mm,
Because when you first met him, what did you feel? Our womb is consistently talking to us. It lets us know who's for. How many of us, when we meet somebody, how many of us take it to our sister friends or our elders or in the community to see who this person is? We don't woo each
mhm.
other anymore. We don't court each other no more. We don't get to know each other. Oh, we go together. I love him. Do you? How are you going to love somebody and you don't love yourself? What's the issue between you and your daddy?
Mhm.
Did you have a good relationship with your father? If you have a good relationship with your father, then you'll have a good relationship with our men.
I say.
I grew up with 11 boys. So if I wanted to know, if 11 brothers. So if I want to know about a brother, I'm going to talk to a brother. If I want to know about a sister, I'm going to talk to a sister. But we got to get past, if you want to say, I'm seriously, all sisters are not out here to hurt. All sisters are not out here to harm. All brothers are not out here to hurt. And all brothers are not out here to harm. But when you're comfortable in your own skin, when you've done the work, as High Priestess said, when you've gotten past the trauma in the drama, then you can go forth and do what you need to do. There are a lot of us that are building. There are a lot of sisters that are building. There are a lot of sisters that's calling on it and walking in their divine feminine.
I say. Yes, ma'am.
We don't
I
need
say,
anything outside of ourselves. That's in our mind. Because if I have everything that I need at birth, I'm androgynous. That don't mean that I don't have to be in a relationship. That don't. I I had an indigenous teacher, and I think that's the best thing that I could ever have had. She, the matriarch. So she knew her role, and her husband knew her role. So he stayed at home. I mean, he took care of the children while she did what she needed to do spiritually.
mhm,
Who's the,
mhm.
I need somebody to lead me. Lead yourself, guide yourself. What's your purpose? What's your destiny? What did you come here to do? All of us didn't come here to be a housewife. All of us didn't come here to be the 9 to 5.
I say, I say, I say.
All have a role. We all have a destiny. If we allow each other to fulfill their role and to fulfill their destiny, then it would be no chaos. Sure, it
Okay.
was put before us. So how long we gonna keep blaming them? When do we stop blaming them?
Come on. That part.
And then
That part.
and a lot of stuff be illusions. A lot of stuff people be talking about they're going through and all these other things. They never been through it. They were watching Tyler Perry. They were watching all these programs that are. It's a program. Hear me? It's a program. They watch this stuff and oh, he ain't gonna do me like they ain't gonna. Half these women ain't. I'm not. It's just crazy. I'm in a community where women talk loud. They real masculine. A lot of women where I'm in the country. All these women are masculine. All these women are tough, and all these women, and it's like ain't nobody put their hands on these women. They've been watching too much TV. They've been watching too much of the program. They fell for the program. They fell for the script. And then I was talking to one guy that said she was talking about somehow she ready for a soft girl era now. Well, like I said, the life expectancy rate for all of us is short. It's not as long as we think it is. For men at a certain age, things don't work no more. About 40, 50 years old, things start working. We wasted our whole life. The guy that said we don't court no more. In this day and time, I'm courting you while you're sleeping with everybody else. We broke that. We broke the trust. I can't court you and give you everything, and then you turn around. I'm sorry. What you say, guys?
Okay. When you first met her, what did you feel? The one that's sleeping with, when you first met her. Go back to that. How are you going to heal somebody that's broken? But a lot of us are broken.
Let me say, we keep blaming each other for being traumatized. All everybody has had trauma, and then we keep the women that are there, they want to blame the men, and then the men want to blame the women. And here's the thing. I think I said this before, and then we heard Mama Odeyemi just said it too. Whatever we have a uterus, a universal uterus. So whatever is being that energy that goes into that uterus, that universal uterus, it is what gets created. So if the female keeps attracting, if she has been hurt over and over again, and it probably started with her father, right? Then that's what she's going to keep attracting until she makes a shift. She makes a change, right? And then the same thing with the men, but it's different. See, they have the thing where, they say the women are giving it up, but it's not the women that's giving it up, it's the men that's giving it up. We're receiving. Right? And so whatever it is that when you ejaculate, whatever you are thinking, whatever that energy is that gets dispersed into that universe, you are putting it into the universe. So if you just there hitting it, and then you hit it and quit it, and then you continue to do that, and you've been putting that in the universe over and over and over and over again, a lot of times when you get ready to settle down, that energy is still there because that's what you've been putting in the universe. Now, the women that are walking around that's slitting tires and breaking, you're scratching your car up and all of that stuff, it's because they have repeatedly been given that energy. Because they keep attracting it, right? They just haven't realized yet either how to transmute it or to change their minds. A lot of this stuff is mental. I tell people this all the time. They want a lot of spiritual fixes, but a lot of this is mental. And you just have to come to a point where you make a decision and you mean that shit when you do it. When you say it, that is exactly what's going to happen. I am at a point, right? You just listen, I've seen enough. I've experienced enough of things being this way. And then some of the times when I hear about different things that are, different types of men or different types of women, it seems foreign to me.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm like, what? People do that? You know what I'm saying?
You said that the other day. You attract what's in your vibration. Yeah, you said it the other day.
That's it.
I noticed.
It's in your vibration, and it's in what you disperse. So the women, women need to learn how to transmute that energy that's in the womb, and the men, y'all have to be careful because you are giving life force, and as this matriarchal energy, this divine feminine energy becomes more and more potent. Okay, you got a woman that you don't want carrying around your energy, carrying around your essence, because that is exactly what you're giving us. Okay, and if she know what to do with it, you know what I'm saying, you want so that's something for the men. I always tell the men, I said, listen, when you are engaged in intercourse, especially if you have a primary partner, have a discussion about it, about what y'all doing and what y'all doing for. And then when at the time of ejaculation, you start programming your sperm for what you want, because that
As a matter of
is
fact,
life force that's being given, right? And she need to
you
know
shouldn't
what's
even
going
ejaculate.
into. A lot of times the women don't, but why they so, you want to know why women are so emotional and all this stuff and they be acting crazy. A lot of times they do not know what's being put inside of them. They don't know what kind of life force is coming into them, right? And so we do something with that. This is the part that when I heard Mama OJ Yemi say it, a man can't tell a woman what's going on in her body. Not really. You could tell the science, but we know what it's like. And we know what it's like. Some women who are extreme empaths, and I had the experience. Now, I don't call myself an extreme empath, but I did go through a phase. And so sometimes let me just say it this way. This is how sometimes the women know when, the man has been with another woman, the man's been with another man, sometimes you might even get you might have dreams about the other person that you don't know about, or the other things that he is doing. You have dreams and visions about. This is some of the stuff. And then, you come and you tell them, and sometimes the men are like, how does she know that? And then, but then you get ghosted about it, right? And so then it does make you crazy because you don't have the confirmation, or it can. I'm not saying it will, but it can make you crazy because you're not getting those confirmations, but it's coming through you. It keeps repeating. This is some of the stuff that a man cannot tell you, but I guarantee the women know what I'm talking about.
No, most definitely.
You know
Trust
what I'm
me.
saying?
All the
Because
men know,
we feel
because they've
it.
all
Yeah.
experienced when she wake up. All of us experienced that time when she wake up and said, "Yeah, I had this dream, and you did this in a dream." Everybody been through that experience before.
That's it.
Well,
So
we were
I
born
know.
with the gift. We were born being able to see. We were born being. It's in our DNA. It's in our mitochondria. But men
That's right.
shouldn't ejaculate unless they're trying to create. And that's what I tell sisters.
Come on.
That sexual act is a powerful act. That's why it's so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So, in actuality, every time a man ejaculates, he loses life force.
That's right.
So, when you sleep with a sister and you've had sexual intercourse, who's rejuvenated and who's wore out?
That's right.
And everybody you've ever slept with goes right into so it never leaves you. So it enters into her. And this is what I tell sister. Know who you're sleeping with. Know who you're having children with. Know the person that you're dealing with. First of all, but you got to know yourself. It comes back to self. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. Does not Mother Nature take care of herself first? Why can't we?
I say.
We've been told that we have to have a man. We've been told that we have to have a 2.5 car garage. And we've been told these things. Not prepared, not mentally prepared, not mentally knowing how. How many of us actually came into a house where there was the The mother and the father were together. Now, and should I say maybe back in the 60s, different era. It was the era of love in the 60s. We got to bring love back. That's all. Love, Maya, morals,
I say,
principles. How are our children growing up? Are our children growing up in structure? Are we teaching our children what it's being? I have to go with David Banner. Seriously, I knew nothing about David Banner. I'm just strolling through YouTube, and he's with Cam Newton. You know what he said? Do you teach your children about being sacred and divine? He used the word God. I don't like that word, but I'm going to use his word. Do you teach your children that they're God?
I say,
Do you teach your children that they're sacred and divine? He also talked about from the perspective of superheroes. Oh, I'm a superhero. Why? Because we could see, we could hear. We've always saw spirit. We've always felt each other. So
that's
we're
right.
using their words. Oh, I'm clairaudient. I'm clear. No, we've always heard spirit. We've always seen spirit. This is in our nature. We were doing it
That's
even
right.
before they even knew anything about it. We taught
Yes, sir.
them, and then we forgot.
Yep. It's supposed to be like that.
Yes,
Yep.
it's natural.
There's a lot of
Hey,
people.
It's a natural propensity. But if
I
we,
say,
I'm like, if we stop blaming each other, if a sister hurt you, guess what? Find out what the karma was between you and her, bless her, and keep it moving.
and
Because
move on.
trust me, I'm like Neil Tahaka. Life is a spiral. And in some incarnation, you're gonna meet somebody. I always say, in my molestation, I'm sitting in church and it says, forgive them because you molested them in a prior incarnation. To me, that was the most devastating thing that I could ever have heard until I took Creology, until I studied Creology. Creology is a yoga, but it's the study of karma. And that karma isn't a good thing, or it is what it is. But until we can rise above it, we all got karma together. We got karma with our house, our car, everything we have karma with. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing, or it just is. And when you see the karma, can you recognize it?
Okay.
A lot of times we don't pay attention, but it's right there. Who
Yep.
stands before me? I love when our high priestess says, oh, I got to know who I'm talking to. So I'm going to wear your galactic signature.
Um,
What is she saying? I'm going to figure out who you are so I know how to deal with you.
I say, yeah.
and we got to
Yep.
break
We
through.
don't.
We got to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying we got to get back into that. That's why I love the community. I also put the link up because there's a lot of good questions. So if anybody wants to come in and ask a question, help me out because sometimes I have a hard time trying to get all these questions and comments. The link is in there. But also what the goddess was saying, like I'm most definitely overstanding it. I'm speaking, I guess, from the devil's advocate side when I speak on both sides of it and everything. But I love the fact that you create a community. Because community, like you said, we get to know who we are, we get to know what we've done and everything else. We get to judge each other by our standards instead of the world standards and everybody else. Because like I said, if we haven't figured out, we got to be the craziest people on the planet if we haven't figured out that these people have tricked us out our spots. All of us want to be single up until we get older. And now we want to, you see what I'm saying? In the world, we got to be the craziest ass backwardest people to not realize these people have tricked us out of our spot. Hold on 1 second. Wow. Peace, goddess. Peace. How you doing?
Hey.
Peace. Hi. Y'all. Hi. I'm doing great. How are everyone doing today? I'm so sorry, y'all. I just literally, I'm still in the car, but I wanted to make sure that I get on here and keep my word.
We're just breaking down about the divine masculine and feminine, and we're talking about certain things that just to bring it like we have to address certain things to make it better, or for us to realize that it's a trick. So for us to who know who we are and everything else. One guy that said, "What is a galactic signature?" Goddess Mayat?
Yes. So it's part of our OMAC cosmology. And that has been, I'm going to say, synchronized, right? To sync up with these modern times. It kind of takes us into the program and then helps us to understand what our galactic purpose is here on Earth. And so you can find out your galactic signature, you can go to the lawtime.org website, or if you once you find out, then you're gonna even have more questions, or you give us one of us your date of birth, we'll give it to you, and then you're gonna be like, "Ooh, what that mean?" And then we can explain it to you, right? So you can also go to the Melanated Immortals website if you want a full reading on it and things like that. So we'll do that for you as well. And it's based on a 9-month cycle, right? 260 days is approximately 9 months. And so it doesn't have anything to do with like astrology or anything like that. It takes 9 months to come back around to your unique galactic signature. Right?
Wow, thank you. We had a lot of amazing questions. I'm
And
gonna
the
try to get back to them.
HC, there's nothing like your galactic signature.
Not at all.
Nothing.
Not at all. It's a perfect match. It's definitely a perfect match. But Empress Josephine, what is your take on what's going on with the divine masculine and feminine right now? And where are you from? Introduce yourself, please.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm still kind of like winding down from the day, so pardon me if I seem a little off. But I'm originally, I was born in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. I was raised by my grandfather. He was a pastor in New Orleans, so my background is church. Then from there, I went to high school in Connecticut, and then from there, I moved around, but I found myself back in Connecticut. About 10 years ago, my grandpa, he passed away. I was really close with him. He was like my dad. So he passed away in 2015. In 2016, I got into health. I had opened up a juice bar in Hartford, Connecticut, and that was the beginning of my journey. First, it started with health, which I understand now why the Most High took me through that route, with just cleaning up my body, my vessel, cleaning that up. And then my spirituality journey began. So I've been doing that the past 3 years. So I moved here to Phoenix, Arizona 3 years ago. So, but before that, like I said, I was running a juice company in Hartford, Connecticut. I did a lot. I did a lot. When I look back at how much I did, it just still like amazes me with just the whole health aspect, the people that I helped, just so many people that just through my company was able to start their healthy journey, just through juicing. So I live by that. Like I drink juice. Like anybody that I meet, I'm getting them on juice. I'm making them a juice. That's I guess you could say that's like my like love language kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I love that. I love that you say your love language, healing.
Yeah, healing. And so then about 3 years ago, when I was in Hartford, Connecticut, I was at the height of my business. I had a contract to go into multiple grocery stores. I went from a storefront to bottling my juices. But I've always been like connected to the Most High, the higher source, or what, like whatever anyone wants to call it. But for me, I've always been connected. So I had got a message to leave where I was at, like literally, like pick up and leave and go to Phoenix, Arizona. So my grandmother, which she was married to my grandfather, this is going to tie into what I'm sorry. What's her name? Sister
Got it,
Mama
Oya.
Mayan? OJ
OJ
Yemi?
Yami.
OJ
OJ
Yemi?
Yemi.
OJ
OJ
Yemi.
OJ
Okay.
Yemi.
Yemi. Mm-hmm.
OJ Yemi. Okay. Pardon me. Well, I was listening to what she said about knowing who you are, knowing where you come from. So tying this all together, my grandmother, she is a spiritualist. So she's not, my grandpa was the one that was more church. He had multiple churches, but she was the one that was more spiritual. She didn't really like believe in going to church or like that and all that stuff like that. So she called me. This I knew that making the move back to Phoenix, Arizona was what I was supposed to do. She called me and she's like, God is preparing a place for you and you need to come. God told me that you need to come. So I kept like prolonging it, and I wanted to see, and, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I think we
hopefully,
lost her.
yeah, hopefully she comes right back in. Yeah, she'll come back in. She has the link. And like I said, anybody else has any questions or anything, the link is in the comments, so y'all can come in and ask questions if y'all want. While we're waiting on her, High Priestess, what were you saying? While we're waiting on her to come back?
I forgot what I was talking.
I really wanted to stay on the divine masculine and feminine. What can we fix? What can we do to fix each other or fix ourselves first, and then try to, like the brother said, he Captain Planet. We out here trying to save each other and everything else. But we also got to realize there's a group of people that don't want to be saved. But what now do we address the problems in the community? What can we do to fix it?
I say, so I would say let's not go into it from we have to fix it, because that's automatically going to put us in a deficit. And that's one of the things that we want to move away from. Let's realize that as primary beings, primarily the species of the creator, of the goddess, of God, whatever term you use, divine being, infinite being, right? That is our primary function. We have to return to source first. Because if we do everything to fix problem, we're gonna be here fixing problems this whole time, and then we're gonna return again. Talk about the same thing. For me, the way I see it is I'd like to get to the point where we're not gonna be talking about these problems, right? All of the problems really, like you said it earlier, that these are a lot of illusions.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? We are really, you said they tricking us out of our spot, right? But the illusions are tricking us out of our spot too. The illusions that we have to fight each other over really is just energy that comes from being suppressed, oppressed, depressed, repressed, not understanding what Mama OJ Yemi was saying, not understanding karma. Right? And I'm not saying let's get stuck on karma, because I always say let's get past the karma, drama, trauma, right? Let's get to the point where we are no longer the divine feminine. This is what I'm saying. If we make a decision, and you talking about fixing the problem, let's fix it so that our legacy, see, this is something that we don't usually hear women talk about. It's creating a legacy. Right? Because again, the program says that the legacy is with the male. But how can that be when that legacy has to be birthed through somebody that look like a bus, right? So if the women determine that we're going to start from source, and that we are no longer going to produce or create any more of these energies that, the energy that created, these white men that sit around a table and decide for the whole world what people are going to do and not going to do. Right? The energy that's just ridiculous, that there's no way, there's no reason for anybody on this planet to be starving and not have a home. Okay? We are not, the planet is not overpopulated. You just, if you live on the East Coast, take a drive to the West Coast. And what you're going to find is once you get past a certain area on the East Coast, most of middle America, until you get all the way over to the West Coast, California, and all of those places, there's nobody there. There's a bunch of wide open spaces between the two coasts. So how is it that the planet is overpopulated? Right now, people listen, and I've been all around the world, so I'm not just talking about America. Right? I've been to Kemet and taken the whole route, the whole Nile cruise. Cairo is very populated, but when you go from Cairo all the way down to Aswan, which is almost in the Sudan, again, it's a lot of wide open spaces. There should be no homelessness, right? So for the women, our realm is etheric. I think that is our default. If we start thinking like that, if the men start programming their sperm like that, right? That's how we helping each other for the black women and the black men to stop fighting. Let's say we all programming ourselves. The women are transmuting the information. The men are programming their sperm to when we have intercourse, when we have our, and let's say even if it's not a physical thing, it's in our hearts. And that's what's being transferred every time we see each other, every time we look at each other. Then now we are creating a whole new legacy on this planet. We are setting up the atmosphere so that a lot of this nonsense, a lot of things that we see in the world don't need to happen. No homelessness, no starving. People talking about they want to depopulate, right? We create a frequency so strong that they can't do shit. Okay? And I had to say it that way because sometimes you need to get into your emotions and you need to put this stuff in motion.
I say
You need to use them feelings. If we're going to have them, let's use them. Let's point all this melanin that we got, right? Because when we get emotional, it starts charging up the melanin itself. We talking about the magnetism of the matriarch, right? The melanin gets charged up. It starts to change form when emotion gets attached to it. Why? Because it's a polymer, right? Means it sticks to things. It's a neural transmitter and a neural receiver and a neural transmitter. So if we're gonna go and be going back and forth and fussing about this, well, let's make it worthwhile. Right? Let's start producing things now that magnetize a world that we all want to live in, that we might even want to reincarnate again in, right? That's because we setting this legacy. It's what we set. It's what we decide.
Yes, ma'am. I love you said that too, because the people that saying depopulate, of course they're gonna say depopulate because we outnumber them. The same people that saying that a whole lot of things. That's why I said we got to start paying attention for our people to be so cosmic and intelligent and everything else. We falling for the okie doke from the weakest people on the planet. You know what I'm saying? We allowing them to throw monkey wrenches in there, so we fighting against each other. Meanwhile, he done stole your land. He done came in there. It's a lot of going on. Welcome back, Empress. Is your phone charged?
It's charging. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I think you're frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but this energy is strong, okay?
Matriarch
But
Monday. Matriarch magnetism.
the phone dying on me, the phone freezing, okay? I apologize, everyone. Like I said, my phone died, but Sister High Priestess, were you done? I didn't want to cut you
Yes,
off.
please do. Go ahead.
Okay, so I guess I'm supposed to be sharing this because, woo, let me tell y'all, I had a day today, okay? And then Arisha called me earlier. He's like, "Can you get on today?" And I'm like, you know what? Because I don't do, like, YouTube is new to me, this space. So it's kind of like breaking a fear that I have. So the natural side of me wanted to say, "Nah, I'm all set." But I know that in order for me to evolve and keep growing, when opportunities like this arise, even when I want to say no, I'm saying yes, because I just want to just keep challenging myself and keep evolving and growing. So I won't
That's
make
my
this long.
planetary partner right there. That's my planetary partner right there. That's the red earth. Yeah.
I'm telling you, because when I was on the phone with Sister High Priestess and she was telling me my galactic signature, oh my goodness. I mean, I think we was on the phone for like an hour or two, right? Like,
Yep.
it was amazing. And just everything she was telling me, she was right and exact. And I'm like, okay, when you did your Friday, live, and I was on there. Girl, it was so many like synchronicities happening, just the energy you came with. Like, I literally said, okay, I have officially entered into a new like space, a new level, a new dimension, like just new everything. So but like you said, it's written in the stars. So I'm actually on time. I'm actually on schedule where I'm supposed to be as far as my spiritual journey. So, but okay. So back to what I was saying. I'm not gonna make it long, but it's just to tie into finding out who you are, where you come from, is very important. It's really important because it will make you understand why maybe the way you are, why you've been through the things you went through, why, like myself, I didn't have the greatest relationship with my mom. Like I said, my granddad was my dad. But after me going on that journey as far as like doing my genealogy, so when I was in Connecticut, and I got the spiritual call to leave that place, leave everything. I did it, right? And I'm grateful that I'm obedient to when spirit do talk to me, I listen. So I did it. I didn't really like it as much because I didn't know what was going to happen. Like, I didn't know anything, you know what I mean? As far as like resources, all I had was, what I had made from my business and the investments that I made for my business. So, that wasn't much. That was only, saving me for a few months. You know what I mean? So I've always been like a stable person. So resources is very important to me. So to know, like, after a few months, you don't know how you're gonna get whatever to take care of yourself. And if you have children, that's kind of scary. You know what I mean? But when you go on this spiritual journey, it's basically like you are just trusting in divine, right? Trusting in your intuition, trusting in the unknown. So So I left Connecticut. I left everything. All of my customers was like, girl, where are you at? What are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? So I had to go through that, right? And so I've always worked. I've been working since I've been 15. Okay. I've always worked, always like, hustle, do what I had to do. So when I came here, like I said, my grandmother, she ushered me in. So she basically was a part of this initiation. Okay. So she helped me go through that period of, like, how you say, what the church people say, like dying to your flesh, right? Like just releasing it all. So first things first, I had went through a period of resting, being still. So I never knew what it was to be still, to rest. So when it happened, my grandmother, she had set up a place for me, for like, for a long period of time. I didn't have to worry about, how I'm going to pay this, how I'm going to pay that. Like everything was set up for me. So usually I get up and go, right? Oh, I got to go make that money. I got to go do this. I got to go do that. And my grandmother, she just said, no, you're going to rest. She said, you've been working, since you've been a young girl. So you need to rest. That was the hardest thing for me to do, because I was just so used to running, right? And so this is when I realized that a lot of us, especially melanated ladies, we are programmed to operate in our masculinity, because we always have to be on the go. We have to be on the go. And it's like, you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your family, your tribe or whatever, your children. But it's a difference. Okay. I can't explain that difference, but it's a difference when you move with intention. So this is when I started learning how to not worry so much, I started to really see that the way that I was operating, I was really operating in my masculinity. I was like, to the guys, I was like, oh, you got no money? Then we're not talking. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was kind of disrespectful, you know what I mean? Because I was just, not for nothing. Okay, this is what it is. There's women, this is what I was being programmed, okay? Because when you're an entrepreneur, okay, it's like they advertise to us to be entrepreneurs, which is right and exact, right? Because statistics say that melanated woman is like the highest women that's entrepreneurs, right? Or like make the most or something like that. So we are taught to be entrepreneurs, to go after your money, to go after your bag, to do this. So I found myself in groups, right? So instead of how we did on Friday, I jumped on your live, sister, and you talking to my spirit, you talking to my soul. That's more like, it's more softer. Okay. Okay. So now,
Oh, I said, I see what you're saying. Go ahead.
Yeah. So when I was really into my business, indulging my business, but there's nothing wrong with owning your own business, but it's your intention. That's what I see now. So when I was in Connecticut, I was in these women groups, these Black women groups, where, we were all following this woman called Coach Stormy. And, the energy was, you got to get that bag, you got to get that money. And you know what I mean? Like that energy is very manly. Okay. So, when I got here, I wasn't able to see this. When you're in the program, you can't see it. When I was able to come here to Arizona and rest, And my grandmother, she called them growing pains, because I was just crying every day because I never like got a chance to not just do nothing, like not worry, just be me, just, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, it's okay. Like literally, she had to like hold my hand because it was my spirit crying. You know what I mean? Because it was just like, oh my God, I really got a chance to look at myself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then we went through that period, right? So now I'm in the second year being here in Arizona. And boy, I went through some stuff, okay? I got married, Sister High Priestess, I told you about him. I got married, but that was part of my spiritual journey also, because a lot of the things that he seen in me, I never seen. Okay, so now I'm in a space where I'm moving with intention. I went through that process of like dying to like how I was. Okay, so now it's kind of like I'm like a newborn baby or what have you, like in the spirit. So marrying him really taught me a lot about myself. You know what I mean? Like he told me things about myself that I'd never seen. So all the years, even through even having my sons, you know, like I don't get them, but I would say to any young lady to wait, because we're programmed. We're programmed to go to school. We're programmed to get out of school. Now go find a man, go get married, go have children. Okay, so running the youth bar really showed me how a lot of women don't know themselves. A lot of women don't know their bodies. I mean, at age 30, I just found out, well, I'm 41 now, but at age 30, when I was running this juice bar, I really got into it with my body, got into it with myself. I started learning about my menstrual cycle. You know what I mean? Like that whole thing with that. But it showed me that a lot of women, we don't know ourselves, because we're taught to, soon as we hit 17, 18, go find a man. Then you're gonna have children, and then now you're a wife, and you know what I mean? And then it's like your whole life done passed. So it's like, when are you having time to really, you know, look at yourself? Who are you? You know what I mean? Like what you like, what you don't like, you know what I mean? But so when I got married, it really showed me this because I've been married twice. So my first marriage, it was like a blur. Like we partied all the time, you know, it was like a blur. But this time when I got married with him, I was real with myself. I'm like, dang, like I'm really not really ready to be married. You know what I mean? Because this person, and then he had traumas. Like, so it was like I had traumas, he had traumas, and so we got married, and then it was just like a big bowl of trauma. You know what I mean? So he grew up in New York, right? So he had like this New York mentality. Like if you know, New York mentality is different. And he didn't have his mom. Okay, so I didn't know what that was, a guy to not have their mom and like that whole thing. But so we both kind of like didn't have good relationships with our mother. And then so when we got together, we were looking for something that we were missing from our mom, and we were trying to find it in each other. Okay.
Okay.
So you know, that didn't end well. That didn't end well, okay? But I'm very grateful that we both went through our healing process, and that now, you know, we're trying to like heal some things that we did to each other at that time. Boom.
Real quick, guys, I wanted to because we got a lot of different questions, a couple people trying to get in. No, you're okay. I love that you're sharing that because I mean it's vulnerable and honest.
I say.
Do you have a TV playing in the background, Goddess?
No, I have my AC on.
Okay.
It's a
Yes,
game.
ma'am. But I still wanted to move around the room because I know we got to get to a couple more questions. We're already at an hour 30 right now. High Priestess, what did you have? Did you have anything else for us tonight?
I wanted to I like give thanks for that, Empress Josephine. I like hitting all of those points because that is that's the experience, and from that experience, right? You asked the question, Orisha Stone, earlier. Where do we go from that? Because that is, I'm sure that resonated with a lot of people because that's the experience that we have had, in varying different ways. And it's that's the program, right? That's the program we've all been under. And what we talk about womb evolution. We talking about not a revolution, because then we're gonna go around, right? An evolution. What is it? Here's the question. Do we really want to continue to revolve in the trauma, or do we want to evolve and to have a different experience on this planet than what we've been having, and not limited to, the small world of, how, Black women and Black men operate with each other, or how we've been programmed to operate with each other. Because, like, as Mama Yemi said, see, back in the 50s and the 60s, the families had to stay together. Now, it doesn't mean there wasn't no trauma. It was safer that way, right? People weren't just going out. Like my mother was one of I remember my mother divorced my father, and I was like 6, and that was a big deal, in the 70s. Like, oh my God, no, you didn't. How, and so she was kind of shunned for doing it at that time, because you just stayed there. But now we have the opportunity now, because we can keep going. We have story after story after story of these things that we've experienced. Do we want to continue with those stories? Or let me say this. I always tell people, we can have our stories. We just don't need to be limited by those stories.
Yeah.
We can go beyond them. Right? Because sometimes it's hard to just be like, well, I like my story. I want to keep telling my story. And that's fine. But we don't have to be limited by those stories. Now we have the power, the authority, the permission, the priority, the seniority, everything that we thought that we did not have, we do have now.
Yes.
Sure.
And we can go ahead and set this stage any way we want to. This world is waiting. The universe. We walking around with a universe that can change any and everything. Right? It's just a decision. I see we have somebody else in the room.
Yes, Brother Black Rock. This is Chief Black Rock right here. He does all my AI work. You seeing all the slides? Yeah, this is the brother right here. The brother had a question. Peace, Chief. What's going on?
How y'all doing? First off, I don't know if my mic is the best mic, so I hope y'all bear with me. I'm gonna get my question out quick, and then I'm gonna mute myself. All right. So my question is, what if it's like a perspective type question? What if we is really making progress, but it's like the illusion of appearance? You know how somebody could have on clean clothes and you think they got money. You feel me? Or somebody could have a good looking house on the outside, but you don't know they house dirty on the inside. So what if we is making progress as far as, masculine and feminine, but because only certain posts and videos get more likes than the progress posts and videos, that it appears that we going backwards or resetting every time. And then I want to say one more thing, because in the sense of how they came out with the YN thing, how what if the young man was really making progress and deciding to want to be conscious, So they had to come out with the YN to, you can give the appearance, and they know that people will follow trends because they want to fit in with, or they feel like they belong to something. So in that, I say that again, and I'll end it on this. And the same thing with the women. What if the women really is making progress, especially with the young women? It's just that we only give attention to the posts that don't show that in that light. Then I'm gonna mute myself, and let me know if
Hey,
I want to get out of here.
I appreciate you saying that. But before I pass the mic, I'll say this. One, you're absolutely right. Like a lot people love drama. We know this when you see Melanated Immortals channel, they might have 1,000 views and 20 likes. You know what I'm saying? Cereal, no milk. You know what I'm saying? We like dumb shit. Niggas love dumb shit, and it's sickening. But even that YN thing, I'm not mad at YNs if they go no. If we had real YNs to go out there and handle the business, we got all these what's the builder dude in Tennessee? I don't even believe in YNs. Ain't nobody in Tennessee hard. Let me tell it. All these killers that are in the rap music, but they ain't knocked off the white boy yet. All the killers in California and the West Coast, but they ain't. So right now, I feel like a lot of people are just misdirected, and a lot of things are illusions. They fake. Our people like ignorance. They like to be entertained. Are you entertained yet? Yo, everybody want to be a comedian. We got everybody want to get on social media because they stupid as shit and want to be a comedian. We got 20 million comedians. We got 20-minute entertainers. We got all this dumb shit. Now, what do we know about Rome? They said, yo, if we want to control the people, get them sports, get them entertainment. So we melanated people trying to live like the Romans or follow the laws of the Romans. But I'm gonna pass that to the goddesses. What say you, OJ Yemi?
Okay. I'm going to take us back to the Matrix, the first movie. And when Neo was in the bunk, laying down, and Morpheus came in, and Morpheus looked at him and said, I did you a disservice. And he didn't say anything. He said, I don't really like to wake people up after a certain age. I prefer to wake them up at a younger age, because when they wake up when they're older, I won't say older, but when they're at a certain age, they're kind of fixed in their ways. So it's, should I say, a little bit easier when someone has not been structured or programmed. It starts with the family. It starts with the children. How do we structure our sons and our daughters? How do we raise them? What do we share with them? And then that builds from there. As far as sistering, well, we all got a story. But that don't mean that story is our experiences or opportunities to express the 260 faces of creation. That's what those experiences are. Those experiences come for us to express our true divine self, for us to rise above and show somebody, if I can come through the muck and mud, if I could be like the lotus every dawning, rising through the muck and mud and returning back into the muck and mud every night. It's a program. Now, we could stay with the program, or we could say, you know what? In order to get in the matrix, what did you have to be? You have to be plugged in, right? If you're not plugged into the matrix, then you ain't a part of the matrix. If you live in sovereign, then you're going to be sovereign. But if you dibbling and dabbling, if you're watching their entertainers, you're listening to their music, you're doing their dances, if you're doing all those things, then you are in the matrix. Who are we giving our currency to? We go to concerts, we go to movies, we go to plays, we go out to eat. Who are we giving our currency? If our currency is our frequency, where are we flowing? Anything into Chief Black Rock, you can tell when somebody's the frequency of a person. You ain't got to be in that person's presence. You can feel when a person is divine. You can feel when a person is working from true authenticity or working from Maya. They don't have to say nothing. That's how powerful we are. But we ignore that because, once again, I don't understand what this means. I hear sisters say, "Oh, well, I'm in my soft girl area." Look, I'm fire. I'm water, I'm air, and I'm earth, and I'm ether. I come with an ashe. We all come with an ashe. So what? Because I'm not. Oh, don't tell. Why do I have to be like that? When I no longer care what someone says about me, feel about me, think about me, or say about me, then I step into my birthright. If we teach our daughter and if we teach our sons, it ain't about how everybody feel about you, it's how you feel about you. It's not what somebody say about you, then they will stop the bullying. It's up to us to, when you value, when you've been taught values, then you live from that. It goes back to the structure of what we've been taught. So are all sisters gonna make it? No. Are all sisters gonna be part of the divine? No. Are all the brothers? No. But that doesn't mean that we can't keep the sacred space. I'm gonna share this and I'm gonna be done. A year and a half ago, there was 6 of us. We started praying to the mothers. We started calling forth the ancestors. We started calling forth the mothers, and we started calling out Sister Renee. Well, 4 of them fell off. And for the whole year and a half, it was just this other sister and I, every Wednesday and every Saturday, because those are the days in the Yoruba that belongs to the elders of the night. So we kept that prayer going, and we kept that vigil going, and we kept that prayer going. Well, guess what? Through that prayer and through that vigil, I ran into melanated immortals. I ran into sister, they're up to Haka. But not only that, now I've ran into a sister named April Gare, who's opening us up to the divine feminine. I got receipts, in fact. So you see what I'm trying to say is she tells us that we were born being able to see. We were born like this. It's natural. So what I'm trying to say is when you're on this journey and you keep doing what you need to do, it's going to unfold. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about nothing. Just be. This is what I'm going to say to you, Empress. I keep hearing the word intention. I don't use that word. I use attention. Because see, the road is paved with good intentions, but what do you pay attention to?
Right.
Wherever your attention is, it's where your energy gonna flow. You'll flow.
Yes.
And real quick, I'll say again that the reason a lot of these women don't respect the men is we not putting in enough work, man. Back in the day, like before these cameras and stuff, we put our work. We had people to defend the family and put people where they need to be put. We're not doing it now. The only time you see niggas doing any killing or is when they're killing each other. You know what I'm saying? I feel just like the women. A lot of these men are betas. A lot of these men are feminine made. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these men are everything's vice versa. Y'all way too much in your divine feminine energy. Get back into the masculine energy and go get you some scouts. You know what I'm saying? Make the world respect us again. Goddess May out. What you got to say?
Definitely. Thank you, Mama OJ Yemi. To what the brother was saying about, absolutely. I feel that way all the time, about, there's a lot of doom and gloom. There's a prophecy for everything. We were supposed to be in 3 days of darkness. That was about 3 or 4 years ago. I'm still waiting. We were supposed to, I don't know, it was one of these moons that was supposed to come in. It was supposed to do this. Like, so it's always, like, to me, this is just my perspective, so take it or leave it. It's always something that's coming that we have to react to. Right. If we going downhill and this is going to happen and we in the end of days, we're, all of these different things. Yet, no, a lot of people are not talking about what's already, there's another movement happening as well. And it's automatic. It is, like Mama OJ Yemi was talking about, like this is something, it's already in motion, right? It's already in motion. We don't have to necessarily do a whole lot of, of anything, because this is what we came here for. This is why this energy is waking up. This is why we're changing our minds about things. This is why we keep having these discussions. But there's not always something that we got to react to because that keeps us in a state of deficit. That keeps us in a state of fear. It keeps us in a state of not watching the cosmos and what it's doing. Not watching the planet and what the planet is doing. The poles are shifting. There's solar flares coming in. These are sending all of these different frequencies into the planet. We just don't hear a whole lot about that. We just keep hearing about, oh, we got to hurry up and do this because of the, I'm in the Washington, D.C. area, right? Because of the guy who lived down the street from me, right? And then, everything is is based on, something that we all have to brace ourselves for. So I think that there's another frequency, like the brother said, that maybe we are doing all right. Right? Maybe things are getting better. And it's just not being talked about, so people believe that it's not actually happening. Because how did we even get to this point right now? Right? Where we on here talking about, when did this happen? When did it happen that everybody now is on divine femininity, divine masculinity? It didn't happen overnight. It was always happening. It was already coming. And it was at the time that it started, they weren't talking about it because, they talking about the doom and the gloom. Right. So I like to keep my focus on the, I'm like, when people ask me about certain things that this supposed to happen, that's supposed to happen, I say, you know what? I'm an observer. I'm going to observe that.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to just sit back here and I'm going to observe. No judgment. I'm just going to observe it because I'd rather be open to all of the frequencies so we can, have many opportunities and flexibility and things.
I thank you for saying that. You said a lot, and I'm trying to just, man, you said a lot. I'm still thinking about what my brother BlackRock said because it's so much to that where we want respect, we got to go out there and get respect and everything else. Like you said, we are doing good, but it's a lot of people that they like the guy that said we out here trying to get the money. The money got the white man face on it. We trying to get the money to get the money right back to him. We're sacrificing our life energy. That's what it is. Money, currency, energy. We're doing all this for this paper just to give it right back to them. You know what I'm saying? If we did come together, we did come in the community, and we have homes, we have well springs. This is why I wanted Empress on. Empress, I really wish you would fix your camera so we can see your smile because you just sitting there looking so mean right now. But I really appreciate it. I know we're going for 2 hours, and I appreciate everything that each one of y'all have brought to the table and bring it to us. And it hurts me that we've been still having this conversation. You know what I'm saying?
I say,
you know what I'm saying? But also that's what it was. That's what it was right there. You said, when did they start talking about masculine and feminine? Because there's no such thing as a masculine man outside of the black race. Let's have that conversation. There's no such thing as a masculine man outside the black race. There's no such thing as when you say feminine, all those European women are mimicking you. Wait a minute, I gotta say, if you ever see a white woman in her natural state, she looks just like a man. You see what I'm saying? So we got to start. A lot of stuff starts with us. We the ones that define masculine and feminine. They're just watching us like an experiment. They can throw monkey wrenches and everything, but you name a masculine man outside of a black man on this planet, I'll wait. And I ain't talking about the ones that they engineered and put together, and they gave them all these different steroids and everything, because all of them on this. We're not talking about all the women that had to go out there and get their behinds made like the black women. Like, let's talk about Sarah Barton and where they started getting those dresses from. There is no divine masculine or feminine outside of the melanated men and women. That's why we're having this conversation. And it hurts me that we're not further ahead, because a lot of people want to, for that dollar, they'll do a whole lot of strange things. They'll do some strange things for some change. Everybody want to be the clown for some change. Everybody want to be all sorts of different things. When we got to just play who we are, we got to know who we are. We got to get the galactic signatures. We got to know who we are. We got to start putting people in their place. We got to stop being, you just said, we got to get out that fear. We ain't scared when we shoot each other and go to prison for the rest of our life. You ain't scared when you kill. Like you said, there's a lot of, back 20 years ago, I can tell you 20 years ago, we weren't going to prison for things like this. Now, y'all not killing nobody but your own. Man killing the wife, wife killing the man killing the kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of sick things that's out here in the world that we got to get back into our nature. And our nature ain't for the masculine men. We're not friendly. We're supposed to get out there and correct the land and secure the land for these divine energy, divine women. You know what I'm saying? So I tell her to fix her thing. I tell her, fix her camera. She went all the way off. I was just about to go for it.
She'll come back.
Yeah, it upsets me sometimes that we still have the same conversations. Like everybody, the one thing about me is that I speak for the men is we've all been through trauma. Some people be like, oh, trauma, we've all been through trauma, but the men got to shut the fuck up about it. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's been molested. Everybody's been hurt. Everybody's been beat on. Wait a minute. Has everybody, you know what I'm saying? Because the women, they might not have been beat on. They were watching Tyler Perry. They were watching Women in Black and all the other good shit. But for men, everybody's been through trauma, but we just gotta hold it. And the only heaven on this earth we have is the Black woman. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we want to see the matriarch back in because we miss love, we miss affection, we miss all that good stuff that they used to do. And when they start doing that, we're gonna go back and doing what we were supposed to do and bring y'all back gold and silver and all these other things that we can present to you. God is Empress. I'm happy to see your smile. Who do you have on that before we get out of here, guys?
Come here. Come say hi. Come say hi.
Young Chief, what's going on, Young Chief?
Hey,
gang.
Greetings.
very handsome.
Man, them warriors. They ain't trying to be handsome. They warriors. They
look like babies to me. I'm just saying.
Ain't no babies. Listen, the white man see us as babies. The white man put 12-year-olds in prison for 15 years. Ain't no babies. They're black men. They're boys. They're gods.
Only the
You know what I'm saying? They're gods. Ain't no babies out here. We black men.
Melanated ones.
Yeah.
Oh, can I say one thing?
Of course.
Okay, so back to what Black Chief Rock was saying about the youngins. Like, I really do have faith in the younger generation that's coming up, because when I'm around my sons and I'm around like their friends and them hanging out with their friends and just watching them, oh my goodness, like these younger like the boys and the girls, they be listening to old school music.
Yeah,
my son, the youngest one, Justin, he's 13. Him and his friend, they was listening to some Marvin Gaye, and he's like, "Mom, what you know about this? What you know about this?" I was like, "Where you get Marvin Gaye from?" And then the 18-year-old, huh?
You know some.
That's what I'm saying, and it's just they're thinking of their own ways. Like they just come. These are some different boys and girls that's coming up. You know what I mean? And for me, I feel like us, because my oldest, the 18-year-old, he was living in Connecticut with his dad, and he chose to come out here and be with me. So, and then, you know, they'd be like, he tells me like, "Mom, you know, I want my wife to be just like you." And so it's like, I see that they're really looking to me. And it's because the way like I live and my lifestyle, you know what I mean? So I know I haven't eliminated everything, but the most important things that I do is like, we don't celebrate like no holidays. It's just a lot of things that we don't do. And at first, with them being around other children or whatever, I'm really stopped trying to use the word children and kids. So when they're around other, you know, age group or whatever, at first, like, we don't like Christmas. Christmas was a big thing. Getting rid of Christmas was a big thing, because they'd be like, oh, you know, the other children, the other little girls and boys getting gifts, you know, why we can't have gifts. So it took the process of me explaining to them why we don't celebrate these things. But now, after a few years of going through all of that, and just basically we created our own, like, you know, we created our own way of life. The way that we do things is different. So that actually gave them like their own power. Like it made them feel really good about themselves. Just teaching them about our history, teaching them about who they are, where they come from. I'm just saying, like, I always speak from experience. You know what I mean? So just from my experience, those are some of the things that I started instilling in them when they were younger, and eating healthy, and they fast with me. Okay, so that really changed them a lot. Because a lot of people like, oh, you have to feed them, their children. They don't, why are you putting them through that? But no, because now I see them being older, it just gives them more discipline. They have more respect. It's just little things that I instilled, basically taking them away from like the matrix stuff. I don't we're in the matrix, but still you could create your own world within your household. You know what I mean? So just getting back to what Chief Black Rock said about the youngins, I feel like they are changing. It's different. Like they're gonna bring something different. Then they're gonna take it further than where we took it. That's how I feel.
Thank you. And that's when you know you did something right, because if they don't, we fail. You know what I'm saying? We're in the new age of consciousness right now. A lot of the problems we had 50 years ago, we're in a new age of consciousness. We're not in the same place we were 20 years ago. We're not in the same place we were 50 years ago. But this is a new consciousness. And all we ask is that all of us be the highest version of ourselves and protect each other, man. We already got. We have to protect each other. We already got. Because I'm telling you, like the world is designed to disrespect us, to play in our face, to do all these weird things, to engineer hate towards us, to disrespect us so that just eats me up every day. Like I said, I'm mad that we're not further ahead. I'm an Aries. I wanted this yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm glad that we're doing it today, though. You know what I'm saying? We got the brother say. One of my brothers always be saying we gotta live in the present, not too far in the past, not too far in the future. We gotta be right here in the present. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys to bring your perspective. It's really an honor for me to sit amongst the women, the matriarchs, and even talk to y'all. I just be holding space. So forgive me sometimes when I get upset, because I hate that where we're at as men right now. That you know what I'm saying? We don't tolerate disrespect from our kids. We don't tolerate disrespect from our women, but the whole world disrespecting us. The whole world playing in our face. You know what I'm saying? Goddesses out here talking about they're scared, but there's a bunch of men walking around. I'm confused. So it ain't even on no simp, nothing. It ain't on no pandering. It's just we got to play our role, and then the women are gonna respect us. Like we got to get back out there and start hunting. If we can be so strategic where we out here hurting each other, we so strategic to all these other things, but we ain't hurting nobody else. We got to go bring some trophies home. You know what I'm saying? So, Goddess, Empress Josephine, how can we support your business? How can we find you? And what is your cash app, Goddess?
Okay, so my business is Juicy J Juice Bar Inc. I'm working on my website, trying to put that whole thing together. So if you want to get in contact with me, you could message me, DM me on Instagram if you have Instagram, or you can email me at juicy JUICY, the letter J, Juice Bar Inc. at gmail.com, and I can send you a menu. I do ship. I'm not too big. Like I'm more so just kind of like doing things on a personal level. So you could always email me or DM me, reach out to me, and I like to get to know people. I call them my juice angels. Okay, so I like to get to know my new juice angels. Get to know like where you at on your health journey. I can send you a menu. I'm really big on fasting, doing a juice cleanse, 3-day, 5-day. So we could talk about that if that's something that you would like to try. And then my cash app is Empress Josephine #3 at Empress Josephine #3 $, Empress Josephine #3.
I say you single, Goddess?
Yeah, currently I am. I'm single.
Hey, to the tribe. Get out of the tribe. Look, we gotta start covering these women. OJ Yemi, peace and blessings, Goddess. How can we support you? What's the cash app, guys? I know you got a cash app. Don't make me put it out there. What's the cash app? How can we support you, guys?
Well, how you can support me is by loving yourself.
I see.
Keeping the vision of all of us evolving. Keeping a sacred space, living from this now to the next now.
I say.
Okay.
Heal yourself. When you heal yourself, you heal the world.
Yes.
As
One
well.
moon, one prostate at a space. In this sacred moment, right here, right now.
Okay.
Nothing matters except for you. Wholeness.
Goddess, OJ Yemi, you single?
Uh, what you
I
say,
see.
Nabby?
Did she
I
say
said,
she's
are you?
single?
Let me say it slow. Are you single and ready to mingle?
Of course. No mingling, baby. I'm androgynous.
Y'all
I
ready?
live the androgynous life. I don't need nothing outside of me.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
already
Oh,
lived that life.
I say, yes, ma'am. We love you, man. We just want to send y'all love and energy. Goddess High Priestess, how are you doing? How can we support melanated mortals? How can we support you? And what is your cash out, Goddess?
all right. Along with what Mama OJ Yemi said, and it's I can't say it any better. That what she spoke. Let's meet up and do that in person. There are a lot of things like how we were talking about different things that we can do as far as getting to know the ocean, getting to know what's the frequencies on the planet, the frequencies in the cosmos. A lot of times when we come together, you know what I'm saying? That energy is stronger when we come together in person. So we have an event coming up in June on the summer solstice. And what I had heard was that Arisha Stone was going to pull up. What I had heard was Empress Josephine was going to pull up. Right. So we're having that on the summer solstice, June 19th through the 22nd. You can find out information about that if you go to our website, melanatedimmortals.com. Go to the events page, RSVP. It's $100 deposit. And then the fee, it includes your lodging and your food. And I think there are limited spaces. So once we, fill up, then there ain't gonna be no more of that. You're gonna have to find your own stuff. We might feed you. But and then if you are in it's going to be in the Hampton Roads area. That's not too far from Washington, D.C. It's not too far from North Carolina. It's not too far from any place. Yep. So you also can come for, if you just want to come for a certain day. We're going to be doing all kinds of things that we cannot do over internet, over the internet, right? We are doing sutras. If you don't know what a sutra is, come find out. We do a lot of chanting. Come find out. We're gonna have a marketplace. We're gonna have what did Risha Stone say last night? So I think I'm calling it a swap meet, a trading post, right? Trading post. We're gonna do a whole bunch of things, and it's a great way for us to get in tune with the frequencies that unite us all. So that's how you can support us, right? So
And what's your cash out?
I'm in Cash App jail. I'm still in jail. They won't let me
You know
back
what?
on.
Did you receive your silver coin?
Huh?
Did you receive your silver coin?
Wait a minute.
We got to show the community, so I don't think I'm scamming, because they be like, man, I know that I donated something to this goddess right here. Where is it?
Hold on. I got it right here. Hold on. Damn. Let me see. This is beautiful. Oh my God.
So when you're in Cash App jail, which, like I say, that's not our system. When you don't need PayPal, you don't need that's just, those are little tools that we can use. But if we get back into our matriarch energy and that Mother Earth energy, gold and silver is goddess's true money. You know what I'm saying? Silver represents the divine feminine nature. The goddess donated, and the other goddesses have donated silver to you. I know they couldn't see it too good, but
Who donated this for me?
I believe that one was that you, Empress Josephine, or was this? Hold on, because there's another guy that's always donating too. Give me one second. Is that the
peso? It's
the Mayan. Is that the one, the Mayan?
No, it doesn't have a lion on it. It has a
Mayan.
man on
She
it.
said the Mayan. Is that the one with the Mayan calendar on it?
Nope.
Turn on.
No, it doesn't have the Mayan calendar on it. No, it has
I can't
I'm
really
sorry, my light is blocking it. But no, it doesn't have the Mayan calendar on it.
I could have sworn I sent you one. It might still be in the mail then. I could have sworn I sent you one with the Mayan Aztec calendar on the back of it.
No, it says Cinco Pesos. And then on the other side it's an eagle. No, wait a minute. Yeah, eagle with a snake, turtle.
You know what?
But no, this one doesn't have the Mayan calendar on it.
Yeah. We got other ones coming too. I probably was just getting you some Mexican silver. Yes, ma'am.
All right,
And
but give thanks. Whoever donated this, I appreciate it. It's hey.
Goddess Empress is always donating. Goddess Empress is always donating to somebody. This is how I met her. She was buying pieces to go to give to other people. Sweet 63, 61. Let's give this goddess some energy because she's always donating to the tribe. And every time she donates, we try to, you know what I'm saying, split it up with everybody to make sure everybody gets some of that energy. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta put a highlight on her because she don't never want to be seen or she don't want no credit for it. But these two goddesses are always donating. That's why I want to invite these goddesses on. And we gotta show love back to people. You know what I'm saying? And are you single, goddess?
Who, me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I guess so. Yes.
So I'm telling y'all now, if y'all don't pull up at this event, I'm bringing everybody home with me. Don't make me take care of all these women by myself. If y'all don't pull up at this event and come take OJ Yemi, and what you say in Chicago, OJ Yemi, you gonna step in the name of love?
What did you say now? I can't hear you.
When you come down
What'd
to
you
where
say?
we going to this event, you gonna show us how to step in the name of love, right? You gonna teach us some of that Chicago stuff, right?
I can't hear you. For some reason you break it up.
I'm just being silly. Man, peace and blessings to the tribe. Peace and blessings to the tribe. Peace and blessings. And thank each and every one of y'all for everything y'all have done for us tonight. We got to get out here. We've been here 2 hours strong, but it went real fast. And I know we're going to keep on building on it. The thing we really need to do is donate to these goddesses and help them build their well springs. This goddess has a well spring she's building it in Arizona, Phoenix, I believe she said. This goddess has a well spring she's building on the East Coast. She's trying to help me with the well springs down here in Florida. OJ Yim is building the well springs all throughout the cosmos. So let's support these goddesses because these well springs, they're trying to heal us. These are the divine feminine energies that we say we want. So let's support them. So with that being said, we get out here and peace and blessings to the goddess again. And thank y'all for tapping in with us tonight.
I say thank you.
Wholeness.
I say wholeness.
Listen, take out the sound fading, but here we break it down. Echoes at the past, it's a wisdom that they drown. Able let the shadows shine through the dark. Voices of the council, let it give you like a spark. Ooh, the truth too loud, they tryna turn it down. Step into the light, watch the history rebound. They do feel fall, at least they roll. With 4 miles of my life to get them last route.
From the first spark, I be up before time. Everybody's like hell, rearrange their mind. Every line that I spit, rewrite they design. Every truth that drop, make a hit and rewind. They moving silent, but I see through the veil. People change one name, but it's really itself. Final dreams that decay while they print up the veil. Like I'm lost in the maze, just a prophet to tell. It's a cycle, blood turning gears in the system. Before the disease and it's still even fixed. I've been watching, third eye stay in position. Ancestors whisper got gold in my vision. And once you sleep till the dreams feel real, set that hope in the box with a sign of feel. But the land ain't safe and the gold ain't real. The throne of the queen got a dead on place still. Ooh, the truth too loud, they tryna turn us down. Moving the light when we came from underground. They're scared of the past, cause the future profound. What's lost been found, now the council's all around. When the council speak, listen when the echoes meet. Every verse, every beat, it's a key, it's the seed. What's found just a copy of Paul. To the blueprint that he had to report. Target ain't I, but the source is one. Ain't no tag, take the touch, that's the master we are. And we know I don't rap, I just stand on the weave, have my own yo. Turn vibrations to waves that be shifted degrees, so long, yo, yeah. And when you walk from, I'm in your whip. And when you walk from, I'm in your turn it down, moving the light, so we came from underground. They're scared of the past, but the future first down. What's lost and found, now the council's around. Who the council speak? Every verse, every beat is a key, is a seed. What's found, get free. What's not, gon' see. What's touched, gon' scream. What's locked, got the key.
Y'all still here? Y'all might as well hit that like button.